Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Tim, back with another video, and today I once again wanted to talk about debt. D-E-B-T, debt. And this is a topic I've talked about a lot in the past, and I'm just going to forewarn you, I'm probably going to talk about it a lot in the future. And the reason I talk about it so much, we'll continue to talk about it, the reason I'm making this video today is because I believe that debt is the #1 enslaver of mankind today. Say that again. I believe that debt is the #1 enslaver of mankind today, and it really pisses me off. Okay, as a people, as a whole, as a race of humans, we gotta clap it up, give ourselves kudos, pat ourselves on the back. We've done a good job of getting rid of the physical slavery for the most part. I know there's still people being held against their will, enslaved physically all parts of the world, but I feel like for the most part, we've done a good job of getting rid of a lot of the physical slavery. The chains and the shackles and the whips and the cages are gone for the most part. But rapidly in its place came other forms of enslavement like debt. And the sad thing is, when people are physically enslaved, they typically know. You're like, oh, this doesn't seem cool. They know it's a bad thing. Like this does not seem cool that I have to work sundown to sunup. I don't get no money. This don't seem cool that I have to, do whatever this person says. I can't do what I want to do. This don't seem right. But when it comes to forms of enslavement like debt, people think it's normal. The average person, I know the average American thinks debt is normal. They're like, oh, this is what you do. You just, grow up, you get credit cards, you put things on credit, spend the rest of your life paying it off. It's normal. Like people have told me this. People think I'm abnormal because I don't have credit cards or any debt like that. People think I'm abnormal. So and that's what really just annoys me about it and pisses me off about it and makes me angry, because I see people spending their whole lives enslaved to some organization, some corporation, some bank that lent them some money so they could buy things they really didn't need, right? And what really makes me even angrier about it is because of that bank, that corporation put things in motion to program that person to believe that that's what they needed to be happy, or believe that that's normal. See, none of this is normal. None of this is like if this stuff just normally popped up in our heads, if as toddlers, we were, just thought that, oh yeah, I need to go out and become a mindless consumer and spend my whole life working to buy things to make me look rich, and then if I can't afford them, I'll just have a bank give me the money, and then I'll spend the rest of my life paying the bank back. If that ideal just naturally popped in our heads, I'd be like, well, that's just the way it is. But this is not natural. This is by design. This is by programming. Since the time you were able to ingest, they say play Beethoven for your kids when they're small because classical music will make them smart, which might be true. I just want to know who decided that classical music was the best music. You got to question everything in life. Why is it that classical European music is always the best music? We can't play the bongo drums for our kids and make them smart? Another video. Anyway, they say play, Wagner for your kids. No one says that. But they say play other classical music for your kids when they're young, make them smarter, because even in the womb, they're taking in things and learning. From the womb, you are hearing commercials, and you're hearing advertising, and you are hearing people talk, and you are being bombarded before you're even of age, before you're even one. Before you even had a birthday, you've already been bombarded with the programming telling you that life is all about making as much money as possible, buying the biggest, the newest, the best things possible, and if you can't afford them, if you're not smart enough to figure out how to make enough money to afford them straight out, we will help you. This is how they come at you. We will help you by giving you credit so you can have the things you deserve and have the things that will pretend to make you look successful in life. So you grow up thinking this is what you're supposed to do. But this is so far off base. Most of the things people have that they have, aside from a car, if you need one, and a house if you need one. I'm single, so I can go without these things sometimes. Single, no kids, none of that. But if you are a parent, if you do have a family, you're gonna need a house, you're gonna need a car. So, and we live in a day and age where you almost have to use credit to get those things. Maybe not a car, but definitely like a house. Typically, if you want to buy a house, no one's gonna throw up $300,000 cash. But other than those things, other than like possessions that you almost in some cases have to have or need to be comfortable, most of the things people have credit card debt or other debt over are things they don't need. Things they do not need. And this is what's so crazy to me, is that we have been, this is how I know it's programming, because this is not normal. This is not normal. If aliens from Xanthar came down and looked at us, they'd be like, what are these people doing? So they're going out and they're buying all the stuff they don't need. Clothes and shoes and RVs and you know, power tools and $900 phones. And they're buying all the stuff they don't need. A lot of stuff, there's cheaper alternatives that do exactly the same thing that they could afford, but they're buying this other one because it has a certain name on it, 3 times the price. And they're buying it without even having the money for it. They're buying it without even having the money for it. They're making it so that they're going to have to stay like working and hopefully making the same amount or making more money in the future. Like their next 20 paychecks are already owed to someone else. And at the end of the day, they're still not happy. That's another one. That's another point. Most of the things people buy on credit end up not making them happy. Or it makes them happy for a very short period of time. You go out and you buy something because you're in a bad mood. I'm going to go to the mall. I'm going to buy me a $300 t-shirt. So, you know, so it's to make me feel better about myself. Tomorrow, you're back in the bad mood. But guess what? You paying on that $300, which is $300 plus interest, for the next year. You paying on a $300 shirt for the next year. The credit card companies, the banks are just sitting there loving it. They're getting super rich. They're going out and doing stuff that, you know, really makes them happy because they can afford to do it long term. They're going on vacation on that $300 shirt you bought. They're happy. They out here happy. And you got a $300 shirt in your closet you can't wear ever again because it's so flashy, everybody noticed it, you can only wear it like once a month, right? So you pay on the shirt for the next year and still ain't happy. You know, if people got the credit and it made them happy, I might be cool with it. But it doesn't make us happy. It takes our lives away because now we owe the next whatever years of our life, like we have to work. 70% of Americans hate their jobs. So for the next 10 years, you got to get up and go to a job you hate to pay back on the stuff that you bought to make yourself happy you ain't even happy about no more. Like, what are we doing? It's crazy. But I don't totally blame us because it's programming. It's programming. If you start your computer up and it goes to Windows 10, you can't be mad at the computer because somebody put Windows 10 on it, right? So like, I can't be totally mad at people when they react like the programming makes them react. When your whole life you've been taught that this is normal. Your whole life you've been taught that money's important. If you can't make enough money, then we'll give you the credit to do it. We're your friends. We're here to help. Take our credit cards. When your whole life you've looked around and seen other people doing it that way. Just mindlessly buying things with money they don't have and just enslaving themselves for their life. If that's all you've ever seen, you're going to think it's normal. You know, if you were, back in physical slavery, like here in America, when kids were born up in slavery, they thought it was normal until someone told them. This is why the cycle went on for so long. Because after so many generations, if there's no one there to be like, hey, this slavery thing is wrong, we're not supposed to be like enslaved as a people, you're just going to think it's the way it is. Because that's all you've seen. And that's what a lot of people today, they think this lifestyle is all there is, but it's not true. There's another lifestyle. There's a debt-free lifestyle. You can live your life without credit cards. You can live your life without making all your major purchases on credit. You can live your life not owing other people money your whole life. It is possible. There's lots of people doing it. I will admit, when I got my first credit cards, I went crazy when I was like 18. That's another thing. Most people, as soon as you turn 18, they're sending you credit cards. They don't even give you a chance to like figure out what this whole credit thing is before they're shoving it on you. Me, I took them credit cards. I went to the ATM. I got cash. I went to the strip club. I threw money. I went to the strip club. Done. Next day, buyer's remorse. next day, I'm like, man, I'm maxed out. I mean, it was like $100 credit limit on each one. So I only had like $300. But the next day I was like, I mean, the stripper Alizé was cute, but did I really need to max out on my credit cards, getting 20 lap dances with her? The answer at the time was yes. Next day it was no. And from that moment on, I was like, you know what? I don't like this whole credit thing. I just got a bad feeling about it. I just felt dirty every time I thought about credit from then on. But seriously, like after that, I just never really, I was like, I don't like owing people money for something that's already gone. Like, I don't mind like blowing $300 at the strip club and just being broke, but I blew $300 and now I owe these people who I don't even know money. I didn't like it. And so from then on, I just never really rocked with credit. From then on, it just something didn't feel right. And it is possible to live your life that way. It is possible to only buy what you have the money for. Now, you may not have the newest or the flashiest. And people may not go around being like, oh, Todd's got money. You know, like Todd's doing well. You know, Barbara's, ooh, you know, you may not get the admiration that other people want in life or other people seem to need. But you can be comfortable. You can be happy. You can live a good life without enslaving yourself to credit. Actually, I think you will be happier because when you get your paycheck, you can do what you want with it. Like, it is a good feeling. It is a good feeling to get paychecks you don't have to pay out. You know, ask anybody who's debt free. You still have bills. So, you know, some of your paychecks are probably going to go to rent or, like I said, I'm not including mortgage in this because that's a totally different, you know, thing. But it's going to go to rent or housing or whatever, things like that. You still have to eat. But when you're debt free and like so much of your monthly income isn't going to pay back like credit cards and things, it's a great feeling to get a paycheck. It's all yours. When was the last time you had a paycheck? All yours, right? You get paid twice a month. First paycheck, bill, second paycheck, yours. Ooh, that's a good feeling. That is a good feeling. When you pull out that bank, you're like, okay, that's me, right? And here's the thing: when you don't have that mindset of needing to like buy things to prove who you are or to like make yourself happy, and you stop just being like a mindless consumer. When you get a paycheck that's all yours, guess what? You can put it in savings. Ooh, the banks don't like this. This is where the banks, they want to shut this video down. I'm starting to get too deep. You can put it in savings, right? A lot of people say, well, I need a credit card for emergencies. You get out of debt. You put money in savings. You have money in savings for emergency. You don't need a credit card at all. Cut them credit cards up. You don't need the banks at all, right? You got money in savings. Then life starts getting really good. Because now you got money in savings. You can take money out of savings every now and then and blow some money, not feel bad about it. You don't have to be like, oh man, I can't spend that money because I should have paid that back. When you got debt, any money you spend, a part of you feels bad. Because you're like, man, I could have put that on that, that Home Depot credit card that I owe $1,000 on because I had to buy, a riding mower, even though I don't cut the grass. But it looks cool because the neighbor's got one. When you don't have debt, right? You got your savings. You can blow a little money. You can take trips. If you do want to buy a little something, you can buy it with cash. You don't have that guilt. You don't have that guilt of knowing that money really should have went somewhere else. And you don't have that back of your mind, I owe somebody. Like that's the big one. I should have started with that. That's the big one. When you are debt free, you don't have that constant, ooh, I owe somebody in the back of your mind. You don't have that constant stress of, man, I have to get up and go to work and not only pay bills to survive, but also on top of that, I gotta make X amount of dollars so these creditors stop calling. Right? When you can get rid of that, life gets really good. And even just normal, regular life is cool. I think in this day and age, so many of us are so unhappy because of the added stressors. It's not that just like our lives are just that bad. It's the added stressors like debt and all this other stuff we put on ourselves makes a good, just normal, average life seem horrible because we got all this stress and stuff going on, right? So my advice, this video, if you're young, you're just starting out, don't get into debt. You're young, just starting out, when they send you the credit cards, cut them up, throw them away. Don't play the game. Don't think that this is normal. And if you are older and you have gotten in debt, do what you can to get rid of it. hunker down, just really go hard at the debt. Ow. Go hard at the debt, get rid of it, and don't go back into it. I see a lot of people like start to get out of debt and then like they go right back into it. Like they'll pay a credit card down and then they're like, ooh, I got a credit card with $1,000 limit on it, 0 balance, woo! They right back at the mall. You know, like pay your credit down, get it down to 0 as close as possible, or get it to where you only owe on like important things, and then just enjoy life not being enslaved, excuse me. Enjoy life with the shackles off. Enjoy life without the bank's all on your back. Enjoy life like not having to worry about credit. Like when someone calls my phone, I'm not worried about it. You know why? Because no creditors, I answer my phone every time it rings if I'm not at work. Because no creditors call me. Because I ain't got no debt. That's a great feeling. It's always a wrong number because nobody calls me. No one calls people on the phone these days. It's crazy. So it's always a wrong number, but even that's cool compared to, you know, creditors calling. So yeah, pay down the debt. Get that stress. Get rid of it. Get rid of the shackles. And just live within your means. Live off the money you make. It is a lot better life. It can add so much happiness to you. And then you have just that knowledge of knowing that you're not playing their game. You're not falling for their trap. You are living your life the way you want to live it. You are in control, and there's not some bank in Delaware who is in control of the next 10 years of your life. Anyway, I'm Tim. Down in the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I know this was kind of a long video, but I really just want to talk about this stuff. You know, like, I just want to talk. Now that I'm done talking, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Response video, comments, hit me up. My social medias will be in the description box below. Let's talk about this debt thing. Keep in mind, this won't be the last video on this. There will be more to come. Debt is dumb. Talk to y'all later.